everyone, welcome into Lauren's Lane. I'm Lauren Brooks from 1010XL. I'm a co-host on the Frangie Show every afternoon and also Helmets and Heels that airs on Tuesday nights. This is the first ever video podcast I've done, so thanks so much for watching. And I'm really excited about all the guests that are going to join me throughout the podcast. First up, as you can see, I'm a walking billboard for 6 Points. We are here at 6 Points, and I'm going to bring in Denny Thompson, the founder and the quarterback guru. Get excited for the first ever edition of Lauren's Lane. If you listen to 1010XL, you know this guy. He is Denny Thompson, owner of 6 Points, which is one of the best places in town to train quarterbacks. Probably the best place, right, Denny?
Well, I would hope so. I would hope so. I mean, look at it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a fun place. We can say that.
So you've trained NFL quarterbacks, college quarterbacks, high school quarterbacks, but let's start at the beginning. How early should a quarterback come to see you to get training and get developed?
That's the number one question we get, and the answer is whenever they're really interested. So we don't take anything below second grade. We have a youth division that is third, fourth, and fifth grade. I don't work with them. I don't like kids. I know that's terrible to say on camera, but it's the truth. I don't work well with kids, but we have a staff that does really well, and it's probably the curriculum I like the most. And so we have a youth division that works twice a week. Once you get to high school, we aim for 2 to 3 times a week, and so on. And our college and pro guys are in the off season in here all the time. But, you know, I think it's really whenever a kid wants to do it, not when a parent wants them to do it, but when the kid says, I have an interest and there's a little bit of skill there, then they should start to learn the, basic mechanics of throwing a football.
So when it comes to other sports, we've had personalized training for years, but quarterbacks, it's really only in the last 15 to 20 years that they've had specific training. How much can they learn? And when they first come here, how bad really are their mechanics?
It depends on the kid. Like some kids naturally can just throw something, anything. They grew up throwing a rock, they grew up throwing a baseball, whatever. And so they've got that arm flexibility, that arm whip. And so they just throw really well. There's other kids you really have to kind of walk them through. But you're right, the other sports had a big jump start on football. In fact, I started doing this 14, 15 years ago. And on the national scene, I'm kind of considered one of the OGs, one of the original guys, which is weird. It has grown so much in the last 10 years. There's a lot of guys doing a lot of really good things, but there's a lot to teach kids really at any age.
So you've had Gardner Minshew, Jake Luton, guys that used to play for the Jaguars, now are in other cities. What exactly are you teaching them? If they come here, they've already played college football, but they come here and there's still a lot to learn. What are you teaching them?
It's never ending. It really is. It's never ending. And obviously, when you get the younger kids in, you're starting at a very base level. When you get to the college and pro guys, you're getting very specific. You're getting arm angles. You're getting through the thought process, the psychology of the game. There's so many different things. It's so much fun because we get to map out. We have a curriculum that for Gardner, for example, we'll have it set by the end of the season on what we're doing basically every single day from January all the way through training camp.
Okay.
Right? And so it'll be very personalized to what he wants or what, Jake wants or one of our other, I think we're up to like 12 NFL guys, what they want to do. The college guys are a little more difficult because they're on campus. So either I have to go to them, which we do quite a bit, or they'll come in here during spring break, college break, stuff like that. But at that age, and really even the high school, it's very specific to what we feel like they need to work on. Or the bigger thing is what they feel like they need to work on.
I was watching you earlier train someone. It's a lot about the hips, it's about the shoulder. How do you get, though, a quarterback when they have to think about all those mechanics and footwork to then just relax and go play without having to think about all that? How long does that take?
That's the point, is you try to get them to the point where that becomes natural, right? And it never really happens completely. What you saw was a college quarterback who's in for the weekend. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, hey, I'm struggling with this, this, or this. All right, well, let's diagnose that. And let's see over the course of 2 or 3 days if we can just get you to feel better, to feel more confident. At the end of the day, if that happens, we've accomplished what we wanted to do. But you're right, there's a lot. Ground is your friend in every sport and anything that you do. But for the longest time in football, we were taught that football is highly rotational. It's all upper body rotational. And in the last decade, it's really come around to where that may not be the case, or it's not the case. we want to use the ground. We want to use our hips. We want to use our front half to create torque, things like that. And so we do spend a lot of time with getting the most out of their abilities.
And before a quarterback comes to throw with you, about how long do they warm up and stretch?
Oh gosh, depending on the level, because we understand there's a attention, attention cap,
Sure.
right? Depending on certain levels. But when you start to get to college and pro guys, it's before we even pick up a ball, it's a 25 or 30 minute process.
25 or 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are we gonna do some of that?
We are going to throw the football. That's why we're
You're
holding
not gonna warm
footballs.
up though?
I'm very warm. I worked out this morning, so I am good to go.
So I'm gonna let you get away with something that I don't let them get away with.
That's correct, but I'm only going to throw a little bit. I'm not going to throw for very long. So if they're watching this, I'm not really breaking the rules.
Okay.
But yes, I'm going to throw a football, and Denny's going to diagnose exactly what I'm doing wrong, which is probably a lot. Stay tuned. So Denny, when a quarterback comes here, how messed up are their hips?
Well, first off, let's start here. Let's start lower.
Lower.
So don't get up here,
Don't get, okay.
right? Get more here,
Okay.
right? So start off here.
Okay.
Yep, start off facing me like this. Yep. And so when you start to throw, open this front hip and close that front shoulder. Like that. Nope, other way. Open the front hip, so step, then close. There. So you're gonna create torque or tension
Okay.
from your left hip to your front
Oh,
shoulder.
sorry, I'm
Nope,
throwing.
you're good. So you're gonna wanna be here. Take your left foot
Yep.
that way.
Left foot that way.
Now take your, there you go.
Okay.
Yep, not quite that much, but that's the right
So at
idea.
a transverse angle.
So it's, I'm gonna throw at the wall here.
Okay.
So it's like I can be hung out here, but my front half can be down this line,
Got it.
right? So now I'm straight instead of there,
Got it. Okay.
right? So it's like when you're playing basketball or anything else, you're chest over toes, right?
Right.
But for some reason, when people throw a football, they want to be chest over hips.
Okay.
We still want to be chest
Chest
over
over
toes.
toes.
That's a power
Like when you're
position.
kicking a soccer ball, you want to be chest over the ball so it doesn't sail over
Right, it's
the
a power
goal.
position, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm here, the ball's coming out like this.
Right.
If I'm here, the ball's coming out at my target.
Okay.
There we go. Perfect. You got it.
I learned so much. And yes, I am still a free agent. Denny, thank you so much for all of your education and instruction. If people want to learn more, 6pointsjacks.com. The success of this place is incredible. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, stay tuned for the next episode of Lauren's Lane. It comes at you next week.